Welcome back to the closing session for this year's FAV Summit. Please welcome to the stage the Chair of Jacksonville Transportation Authority's Board of Directors, Ari Jolly.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the introduction. And let me say how honored I feel to be sharing a stage today with the remarkable set of panelists that I will introduce shortly. And let me also say thank you for being here. I know that this is the last session that stands between you and a wonderful venue and probably some great weekend activities. So I'm just really impressed with your commitment and your resolve to be here, and I think this discussion is going to be very fruitful. As the introduction stated, I am the chair of the board for the Jacksonville Transportation Authority, and I've been with the agency since 2015. When I'm not wearing the hat of JTA chair, I serve as the Assistant General Counsel for Florida Blue, providing legal support for governance, M&A, investments, typically the kind of things that put my husband and my children to sleep when I talk about them. Before we start this session, I wanted to congratulate Senator Brandeis. Is he here? Is he here yet? He's not back. Okay. Congratulate you, as well as Nathaniel P. Ford, our CEO, for their outstanding efforts in bringing together today the brightest minds in the AV industry for this conference. We have experienced 2 days of breakout sessions, fireside chats, and workshops that will open people's minds to what mobility and transportation is going to look like in the future. This is one of the most important conferences in the country, not just for those interested in building AVs, but for the policymakers, the software companies, and educational institutions, and the like. I would also like to give a special thanks to FDOT and the U.S. Department of Transportation for attending this summit and for helping to move the AV efforts forward. In the past 2 days, we have learned about the road ahead in AV technology, the breakout session on AV policy, the path towards federal approval to run AVs on public roads, gave an in-depth look at concrete steps public transportation agencies can take to get public transportation ready for the AVs, for AV use. AV use is a fact accompli, it's a fait accompli. We know it's coming. It's just a matter of when, not if. And these kind of summits and these kind of discussions that we've been having will help us with that timeline and get that use on the road sooner rather than later. In this closing session, we're going to talk about FDOT, how FDOT is transforming their emergency response plans with technology and data. We will also hear an update on SunTrax, a state-of-the-art multi-lane track that will be the only high-speed autonomous vehicle testing facility in the southeastern United States and the only high-speed track in the world to offer tolling simulation, handling speeds of up to 70 miles per hour. And then we will look at the future of the FAV Summit with more details on next year's conference. But before we get there, I wanted to let you know a little bit about the JTA. I know you've probably spoken to Nat and some of the senior management team, as well as some of my colleagues on the board, but I'll just give you a little bit of a snippet about the JTA. We don't only operate public transit network in Jacksonville, but we also provide regional services throughout Northeast Florida and operate the St. Johns River Ferry. We were asked to assume operation of the St. Johns River Ferry about 5 years ago. JTA had never done that before. It was a utility that was suffering. We took it over, and it is now a highly functioning, much sought after transit from one area of Jacksonville to the other. And we are hopeful that with the local option gas tax extension and expansion that we received, at some point in the future, we'll have a second ferry. We also run paratransit and have a number of alternative mobility options in our portfolio. JTA also operates an automated people mover, which served as the catalyst for what is today one of the most advanced autonomous vehicle projects that will see JTA deploy the first public autonomous transit shuttle service in the nation. As you may have heard this morning, this project is known as the Ultimate Urban Circulator, or U2C. We also build roads, highways, bridges, ADA amenities, pedestrians, and bicycle facilities, and more. As I was reflecting on what we have done and the services that we provide, I reflected on the fact that 30 plus years ago, we built the Dames Point Bridge. And at the time, I wasn't on the board then. I think we had just immigrated to the States, but I remember the discussion being that this was maybe a foolhardy undertaking, that this was going to be a bridge to nowhere. 30-something years later, the Dames Point Bridge is a vital and highly utilized a bridge connecting our communities. It just made me think about the resolve and courage that the policyholders, the board, stakeholders had to show 30 years ago. I think most of us, all of us in this room, are in that same place. We have to show the resolve and courage and commitment, to get the AVUs in place within the timelines that we would like. We get a lot of funding for the services and projects that we service, and we are sought out by our local and regional partners to help advance capital projects. While planning and construction is the easy part, obtaining approval for funding is always the challenge, even from those that are in favor of the projects or services. And as you will hear from our panelists, projects of this magnitude require a lot of planning and patience because you can't build these projects overnight. It can take years of coalition building, lobbying, and testing to pull off these projects that are of a transformative nature. It took coalition building, lobbying, and years of testing to implement our U2C program. I don't want to repeat too much of what the awesome Bernard Schmidt mentioned this morning, but U2C is the JTA's vision for conversion and expansion of the Skyway, our automated people mover system in downtown Jacksonville. The 3 phases of the U2C project includes the Bay Street Innovation Corridor in Phase 1, full Skyway conversion and connection to Bay Street Innovation Corridor in Phase 2, and then we plan to extend into neighborhoods to support transit-oriented development. The Bay Street Innovation Corridor is a 3-mile at-grade section that will serve East Bay Street in downtown Jacksonville from Pearl Street to the THEA Bank Field, which is also known as the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium, and back. Phase 1 is funded with the assistance of a $12.5 million build grant, FDOT funding, local funding, and in-kind funding. We are nearing 60% design, and we estimate service will begin in 2025. We have spent the last 3 years testing vehicles, and we will choose the vehicle for deployment in the first quarter of next year. We are very excited to see this project get off the ground, and hopefully we will be invited back to FAB to discuss how successful the project has been. So allow me to introduce the panelists for this closing session. Up first, we will hear from Trey Tillander, Executive Director of Transportation Technologies at FDOT, and he will talk to us about transforming emergency response with technologies and data. Welcome, Trey.
Thank you, Ari. And thank you for hanging in here with us this afternoon. You've heard a lot about autonomous vehicle technologies, connected vehicle technologies, electrification, and I'm going to talk to you about something a little different today. I'm going to talk about how FDOT used technology and data to help us with our response and recovery to Hurricanes Ian and Nicola. One of the enablers of our response was our teamwork. We had the best teamwork I've ever seen. I've worked a lot of hurricanes at Florida DOT, and we had some great teamwork with our districts. For those who don't know, Florida DOT is a decentralized agency with 7 districts in the Turnpike, and we had some of the best teamwork I've ever seen. We also had some great teamwork with our partners, other state agencies like Florida Division of Emergency Management, Florida Highway Patrol, and then our federal partners, Federal Highway Administration and FEMA. Now, many of you, if you're from Florida, you know all about Hurricane Ian. You know the impacts, what we went through for a response and recovery. But if you're not from Florida, you may not have heard a lot about it. You may not know the impacts. So I'm going to start and set the stage with a short video here. Now, in addition to teamwork, technology was a real enabler of our response and recovery to Hurricane Ian and Nicole. We had used technology more than ever, and it helped with our efficiency of the response and the speed of our response, and helped us to do things like open the Pine Island Causeway temporarily within 3 days after Hurricane Ian impact, and it helped us open Sanibel Causeway within less than 2 weeks after Hurricane Ian impact. Most folks thought that Sanibel Causeway might take 6 months. And so I'm going to talk about some of those technologies. Emergency Operations Center, I'm going to go over a couple of our applications and dashboards, talk about some of the communications infrastructure we use for the first time, and then some of our deployments. Emergency Operations Centers are where data and communications come together to produce information and decision-making capability. The picture on the top right is our State EOC room, our ESF 1-3 Transportation Infrastructure room at the State Emergency Operations Center in Tallahassee. In this room, we have fiber optic communications. Our FDOT fiber network comes in here. We have almost 4,000 cameras on interstates and state roads around the state. We can see every one of those cameras in this room. We also have many GIS tools, dashboards, different applications that give us analytics capability, again, that we can all put those up in this room. Now this room is pretty small if you've been there, and we have a lot of people, huge team that works these emergencies. So on the left side, that is an extension of the State EOC. That is in a DOT building, our Barry office in Tallahassee. It's about 2 miles from the State EOC, and we have a direct fiber link to that building and into that room. We have all the same capabilities in that room. We can see all the same cameras, all the GIS tools, and in fact, we can control the State EOC screens from that room as well if we needed to. And then in the bottom right, you see a great example of one of our district emergency operations centers. That's down in District 1 in Bartow. And they stood that up, and it really helped to recover and respond to the Hurricane Ian emergency. Another great tool that we have is our Florida 501 system. Florida 501 is the official source of traffic information in Florida. It's a platform, so it includes a website, mobile apps on iPhone and Android, includes social media pages, and email and text alerts. It covers all of our interstates and most of our state roads and U.S. routes, and it provides a great deal of information. It includes crashes, congestion, construction, lane closure, and detour routes. And it was really helpful before and after Hurricane Ian. So before there's a big evacuation, motorists need to be able to see what traffic looks like before. And then after, of course, there's a loss of power. Traffic is a mess after the hurricane. Traffic signals aren't working, so people want to come back and see what happened to their home, what kind of damage. So they need to be able to see what traffic looks like before they come home. This is a chart that shows the usage before and after Hurricanes Ian and Nicole. On the left, you see a huge spikes before and after Hurricane Ian. And then the smaller spike on the right side is Hurricane Nicole. Another great tool that we have internally is our data integration and video aggregation system, DVIS. DVIS provides streaming video. We can view this internally on our laptops, phones, anywhere we need to. It has all of those almost 4,000 cameras I mentioned. In addition, we have 5 portable video trailers that we can access through DVIS. And so the flexibility and the ability to have this video at our fingertips to help manage construction at places like Pine Island and Sanibel Causeway was very valuable. It also has data from other ITS intelligent transportation system devices, such as road weather information systems. Those RWIS give us wind speeds before and during hurricanes. And this application is searchable, it's filterable, so we can find devices, and we can do that on a map like you see there on the right, or in a list view. This is an example of some of the DVIS feeds. So we can produce multiple video wall configurations, and this is one of them. This happened to be our trailers at Sanibel and Pine Island. This image screenshot was taken after the temporary repairs had been completed. Another tool in our toolbox is emergency shoulder use. So this helps us manage evacuations. And if you recall, Hurricane Ian originally was coming up into the Tampa Bay area. And then kind of at the last minute, it moved south and hit the Fort Myers area. So the day before, there was a huge amount of traffic evacuating from the Tampa Bay and Southwest Florida area. Lots of those people were going toward the Orlando area on I-4. So we have pre-planned ESU plans that we can use. And so we did open the left shoulder on I-4. We ran that for about 8 hours until the traffic cleared out. Now we have a tool, an application, a dashboard that we are able to pull in traffic detector data from thousands of detectors all over the state through our SunGuide system. And we can use this dashboard to help us and analyze if and when to implement ESU. Another application that was very helpful during Hurricane Ian was our eStorm dashboard. This is after the hurricane when we're trying to restore traffic signals and our ITS devices. This dashboard provides statewide and district summary metrics. It can be updated by field response crews with a phone app, and they can put all kinds of fields in their information as well as photos. Some of the summary metrics you can see there on the graphic, operational signals, if they're flashing, if they're not operational, if they haven't been visited, And so that's very valuable information because this is changing on an hourly basis in the days after impact. Also provides updates on things like portable generators. After the storm, there's virtually no power. So we get out there with portable generators because some of the signals are damaged. Some of them have major, minor damage, but many of them we can get back operational if they just have power. So it tracks our number of generators deployed, tracks flooded cabinets. We did have a lot of flooded cabinets, and then down structures. Now we only had, on state roads, we only lost one structure, and it was a mast arm down in Fort Myers. And I think that speaks to the resiliency of our designs for those structures. We can also use this dashboard to help us with dynamic message signs and cameras. And you can see in the animation there on the bottom right, where it starts, that was right after pretty much all the signals in the Fort Myers greater area were red. They're all down. And then within the matter of many days, almost all of them are operational. And we're able to track this through this dashboard on an hourly basis. Another challenge that we ran into was 2 days after Hurricane Ian hit, the water level still rising on those rivers. So there was a big slough river in the Toledo Blade area, road area, boulevard area, and that's I-75 in Northport. So the high water was rising. We had to close I-75. We worked really late that night. That was a really late night for us, and we implemented the largest detour we've ever implemented, over 180 miles. Now, when you detour traffic off of an interstate like I-75, there's no detour route that can handle that kind of traffic. There's no alternative that will handle that amount of traffic. So we had to make sure we got the word out all over the state, advance notification to people. Remember, a lot of people are trying to come back. Resources, supplies are trying to get in. So we used Florida 511, we used our social media channels, we used our permanent dynamic message signs like in the bottom center right, and our portable changeable message signs on the arterial. We lit up those DMS all over the state, going south on I-75, north on I-75, even coordinating with Georgia DOT for the messaging up in Georgia. That's how big an impact a closure like that has. A tool that we used for the first time, a communications tool, was Starlink satellite communications. We, after the storm, cell service is not available or spotty at best. So we needed to get communications down in this area. The first place we deployed it was at our base camp, and you can see the antenna on the top right there. We had to stand up a base camp of 250 beds for our responding workers. After storms like this, many hotels, restaurants don't have power. So we stand up a base camp that has beds, food, even laundry, showers, bathrooms. So we need communications. They need to be able to check their computers, emails, and so forth. So that was very helpful. We have 5 portable video trailers that we also used Starlink devices on. At Sanibel Toll Plaza, we stood up one for the FDOT construction office that was working 24 hours a day. Those trucks working at Sanibel were coming in and out all hours of the day, and we needed good communications so they could manage that effort. Unfortunately, we lost our Arcadia Operations Center to Hurricane Ian, so we had to move that and get it back going, and we used Starlink communications to help with that. We also tried and successfully used a concept where we had a truck and we mounted a Starlink antenna to the top of the truck, and we put a portable generator in the back, and whenever that was sent out, that became basically a mobile communications hub. So you could get within that, someone could get on their computer and use that anywhere we were out in the field. And then finally, we used Starlink to help us live stream video from drones. And this was not just land, but also on water. You can see on the bottom left, we have one on a boat there. That's a Sanibel Bridge that we're able to launch drones and get information back. Now, we've used drones before. We used drones in Hurricane Michael, but we've never used them to the extent that we used them in Hurricane Ian and Nicole. And you saw in that video I played earlier, that was drone video that's showing all that damage. It's very effective. And we've never live streamed video back to the state EOC, which was incredibly valuable because that construction, when you have a 3-day construction project going 24 hours a day, every hour that looks different on the video, every 15 minutes. So having that kind of live video was very valuable to the managers at the state EOC. We've had video trailers, but we expanded our fleet to 5. They're really communications videos trailers. And these trailers have these dynamic masts. You can see 3 of the examples here on the screen. We can raise and lower those to different heights depending on what we need to see. They have pan, tilt, zoom cameras that can really see a lot all around the trailer. As I mentioned, we can stream the video. And most of these have at least 2 cellular services and satellite communications, so we have redundancy of communication. And if someone is within the range of that trailer, it's basically a Wi-Fi access point. And we can take these all over. We used all 5 of them, and they were very valuable. This is a slide of, this is actually during the construction of the temporary improvement for Pine Island. And these are from a trailer that we had set up there. The last technology I want to mention is our District 5 deployed a Smart Work Zone trailer. This is a smaller trailer, solar powered with 2 cameras. And this was at our State Road 46 flooding. This State Road 46, which is in Seminole County, the northern Orlando area, that road, I think at its height, was 17 inches underwater, and it just was not going down. It was very, very slow receding. So many, many days that road was underwater, and instead of having to have somebody stationed out there watching it or having people drive out there checking it every hour, we just were able to put a trailer here, live stream this video back to the state EOC, and we could keep an eye on it when it finally we were able to open 1 road and 1 lane and then 2 lanes. I want to thank you for listening to me talk about how we use technology during the hurricanes. And as you leave today, I want to leave you with a safety message. If you see emergency vehicles, including our road rangers, please move over a lane or slow down. Last year we lost a road ranger in the line of duty. This year we lost another road ranger in the line of duty. And I'd really like to protect these men and women that are helping our disabled motorists on the side of the road. And they're helping law enforcement, fire rescue with traffic control support and incident management support. Thank you.
Thank you, Trey. Thank you for that insight, and the work that FDOT did in response to Ian is truly inspirational and at a higher level of excellence. As I mentioned earlier, the Florida Turnpike Enterprise is developing sun tracks in Lakeland near the Florida Polytechnic University. Here with an update on that transformative project is Carol Scott. Carol is standing in for Nicola, who got unfortunately delayed. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. Nicola is on her way here, but she is in a scenario that we think autonomous vehicles will help. She is delayed because of a crash on the interstate. So unfortunately, she's in the real world scenario that we want to prevent, right? So I'm here to update you on SunTrax. Some of you may have spoken with me at the SunTrax booth. We're just providing you an update and also share with you a new testing that we're going to be doing. So here's a sneak peek, kind of a, sorry, I thought there's the video. Okay, here we go. It's the first time I've seen the presentation. Okay, let me go back. Can we go back a slide, please? One more slide. Oh, the red button goes back? Okay, thank you. Okay, so yes, it's been many years in the making, and we're excited that we finally have finished the construction of both the oval and also the infield. And we actually held an industry forum just a few days ago to start the process of acquiring an operator to operate the facility for the department. And then here is a video of the recently completed infield. We're excited to be able to show you now video and photos and not just renderings. Okay. So. Yes. Yeah, if I click, it just goes to the next slide.
I think they're working on it.
Really? Okay, we did test this, I promise. They worked a couple hours ago. Okay. Oh, here we go.
SunTrax is a high-tech research and testing facility developed by the Florida Department of Transportation and Florida's Turnpike enterprise. Centrally located in Auburndale, Florida, this state-of-the-art complex will serve as North America's next-generation platform for testing emerging transportation technologies. Situated on 475 acres, SunTrax consists of a high-speed oval track that loops 10 secured testing sectors, built to accommodate customized testing configurations and conditions. Upon entering SunTrax, guests will be greeted by the iconic Arrival and Conference Building. This unique structure is outfitted with smart technologies, flexible work areas, dining services, and indoor-outdoor event spaces. Past the security checkpoint lies a series of climate-controlled workshops. Within these buildings are 16 individual bays that can be co-joined to accommodate custom space requirements, house multiple oversized vehicles, and connect to a private service yard. In the southwest corner of the facility is the SunTrax geometry track. This undulating topography and irregular grade changes provide the ideal environment for testing CAV functionality in limited sight distance conditions. SunTrax 2.25-mile high-speed oval track has a design speed of 70 miles per hour with a 10-degree incline at the corners, consisting of 5-lane straightaways, and houses 4 free-flow toll gantries. The urban and suburban environments, along with pickup drop-off sectors, simulate a variety of configurations using custom shipping containers that can be fitted with facades and stacked to replicate a wide range of real-world scenarios. Cross-angle intersections and multi-lane roundabouts provide additional testing applications for up to 8 vehicles at a time. The noise vibration and harshness track features 8 pavement types to accommodate the testing of CAV cameras and machine vision systems, while the wet test track provides multiple low-friction surfaces with an optioned water element for traction testing and braking maneuvers. A 24-acre specialty paved technology pad can support up to 50 vehicles and 8 users simultaneously. Sample testing includes LiDAR radar detection, crash avoidance, and sensor configurations. Adjacent to the tech pad stands a 60-foot-high observation tower with lobby, restrooms, and high-speed data connections for ease in monitoring and recording projects. SunTrax, accelerating the future of transportation.
Okay, one thing with electric vehicles that we hear often is range anxiety. You know, people don't want to convert because they have to go further distances, or with hurricane evacuation, where am I going to charge my vehicle? So I know that one project that we'll be kicking off is actually at SunTrax, and it's to do a pilot project to test roadway electrification. So we have a short video about that, and I hope it plays.
At SunTrax, America's new center for transportation innovation, our mission is to advance technology solutions that improve mobility and make transportation safer and more efficient. As electric vehicles transform our transportation landscape, we also realize that a few challenges stand in the way of full adoption. Challenges like range anxiety and the cost of vehicles and batteries, especially for bigger vehicles like freight trucks that need to power long trips. At SunTrax, we are piloting how we revolutionize smart electrified technology by powering the very roads that vehicles drive on. We will be doing real-world testing where we are advancing a wireless technology that allows electric vehicles to dynamically and safely charge as they drive over the lane. The PowerTrax demonstrations will show first-of-its-kind applications that allow us to prepare for how we could deploy this technology on our roadways, including analyzing the power draw and different vehicle applications on one of the longest continuous smart-powered lanes, testing high-speed travel up to 70 miles an hour, analyzing different electric vehicles from heavy-duty trucks to light-duty cars, evaluating real vehicle movements such as lane changes, and eventually developing other policies and programs such as pricing and payment applications using telematics and technology in the vehicle. We are focused on how we build a sustainable future, pursuing solutions that could lower the cost to electrify vehicles, reduce transportation operation costs, improve fleet efficiency with electric vehicles that don't need to stop to fuel, and bring environmental benefits to the state of Florida. PowerTrax will be the next step in SunTrax's goal of accelerating the future of transportation innovation.
Okay, and thank you very much. That's our update for SunTrax.
I have to say, Carol had no notice. She stepped up. You did a beautiful job, and I think you deserve another run. Great job. So our time here on Amelia Island is coming to an end. The Omni staff has been fantastic. For next year's summit, we are headed to Tampa, and the Executive Director and CEO of Tampa Hillsborough Expressway Authority is here to tell us a little bit more about that. Welcome, Greg Slater.
Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who is still here. I know it's tough when you get to the end of these sessions, but this has been truly an amazing conference. As a new Floridian, this is my first FAV Summit, and I can tell you that this is exactly the kind of environment that I wanted to be, and there are no other places that these conversations are happening that I have experienced like this. And it's not only the conversations and the presentations, but it's the networking and the coordination and the collaboration that I see in the hallways that has really made this truly an amazing event. But what about the next one? So 9 months from now, we're gonna be in Tampa on September 6th to 8th. We will be right on the Tampa waterfront with the next FAV Summit, and it will be big. It will be, we're gonna take the challenge of what we've seen here in Jacksonville and make it even better. So let me say thank you to JTA and thank you to Nat for having us before we go into our video, and just kind of leave you with challenge accepted. We'll get to the next one.
Anyone who does anything with autonomous vehicles is here. This is one of the most important conferences in the country.
This is the forefront of a revolution right now, and it's happening before our very eyes.
We're just starting.
With that, I will turn it over to Senator Brandes and rest of the crew, and I will see you all in Tampa in a few months.
Just before we turn it over to the Senator, thank you, Greg, and I think we're all looking forward to an exciting conference next year in Tampa. We would like to thank everyone who's here, the attendees. Like as Greg said, thank you for staying in there with us, the sponsors and the exhibitors for their participation. We look forward to seeing everyone in Tampa next year. And with that, from me, a wonderful holiday to everyone. Be safe. Senator.
Oh, you want to get the speakers up? Can we do it right after? Can we do it just after? Perfect, thank you. All right, we have one more Christmas drone giveaway to give away. From Jax, we have Jim Wilson, who is the proud winner of this great DJI drone. Don't tell the state of Florida it's DJI, but you won that drone. Congratulations. Finally, let me just say thank you. Thank you to our sponsors and exhibitors, many of whom have been with us since the very beginning. We could not do this without you, and this has been in large part because of your continued support for this. To our speakers, thank you so much for your insights and your guidance and your wisdom that you provided over the last 2 days. To our demonstrators, thank you for sticking around despite the rain. Our host, JTA, Nat Ford and his team, you have done an incredible job with everything from registrations to helping exhibitors and demonstrators with photography, which, by the way, all the photos that we've taken will be available on the FAV website. And so make sure you can, and we will post on social media as soon as we can, so you can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. The FAV puts together this conference. It also consists of other expressway authorities who have combined forces to showcase their love for the Florida Automated Vehicles Conference. Thank you to CFX, MDX, THEA. Team Florida and Qatar also play a vital role in helping to organize the event. We have a private partnership with Playbook PR for handling the social media and marketing and website, and HNTB to organize those fantastic demonstrators. I want to say a special thank you to Dennis, Sue, and Sally for all of your many years of work, an incredible conference. The summit, the next summit in September next year, we'll see you in Tampa Bay. God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you.